All right, let's talk about something that trips a lot of people up. Have you ever looked at someone, or maybe even yourself, making a six-figure salary and thought, how are they still broke? It's a wild paradox, right? But it happens way more than you think. So let's dive in and really unpack the psychology behind this six-figure poverty trap. I mean, this just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's a story you hear all the time, especially in expensive cities. You see that big, impressive salary, but what you don't see is the crazy financial pressure bubbling just underneath the surface. It proves it's not just about how much money you make, it's about what happens to that money the second it lands in your bank account. So what is this invisible force that keeps really high earners running on a financial treadmill, never actually getting ahead? Well, as we're about to see, the answer is a really subtle but incredibly powerful psychological trap. We're calling this the six-figure broke problem. It's that bizarre situation where a bigger paycheck doesn't automatically mean more wealth or a bigger net worth. It just leaves people feeling totally stuck, no matter how much their income goes up. And there's a technical name for this problem. It's called lifestyle inflation. It's a pretty simple name for what turns out to be a very sneaky and very destructive financial habit. And here's how it works, basically. You get a raise, right? And then almost without thinking, your expenses just expand to meet that new income. A $5,000 raise magically becomes a $5,000 increase in your annual spending. And poof, you are right back where you started, just maybe with some nicer stuff. So why on earth do we do this? Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The real reason this happens is this powerful psychological trigger, and it's called the illusion of arrival. This is the core of the whole problem we're talking about. So here's the crucial part. It's all about a feeling. You hit a new income milestone, maybe it's your very first six-figure salary, and your brain tells you, you did it, you've arrived, you deserve this. And that feeling, well, it gives you the mental green light to spend, to upgrade everything, to finally live the life you imagined this kind of salary would bring. And this is how it becomes a cycle, a trap. First, you get the raise. Then, boom, that I've made it feeling hits. That feeling is all the justification you need for the lifestyle upgrades. The bigger apartment, the newer car, you name it. But here's the sneaky part. You then reset your financial baseline. Your new, higher expenses just become your new normal. And the whole cycle just sits there, waiting for the next raise to start all over again. And this is what makes it a trap. Each reward, each one of those upgrades, it isn't actually moving you forward financially. All it's doing is raising the cost of your own life. It makes it harder to save, harder to invest, harder to ever truly get ahead. It's like you're building a more comfortable cage, but at the end of the day, it's still a cage. Okay, so that's the problem. And yeah, it sounds a little bleak, but the good news is there's a really simple, super practical way to break this cycle and to take back control of your money. And that solution is a straightforward budgeting framework. Let's call it the 15-65-20 rule. It's a simple way to tell your money where to go to make sure you're actually building wealth, not just spending more. So the core idea here is to cap your essential living expenses. We're talking housing, transport, food at 65% of your after-tax income. That is your hard ceiling. Now that leaves you with 35%, and that's where you build your freedom. The rule suggests putting 20% towards your financial goals, savings, investments, paying off debt, and the last 15%, that's for guilt-free spending. That's the fun stuff. This structure just guarantees you're always saving more than you're splurging. And this is so effective because it automates good decisions for you. That 65% cap, it slams the brakes on lifestyle inflation. That 20% for investments, it makes sure you're always building for your future. And that 15% for fun, it means you don't feel deprived and give up. It forces an intentional gap between what you earn and what you spend. And in that gap, that's where you find your freedom. So we've got a rule, which is great, but escaping this trap for good isn't just about plugging numbers into a spreadsheet. It really requires a fundamental shift in how you think about your money, your income, and your life. And this slide says it all really. The trap mindset says, hey, I make 200 grand, so I should be living a 200 grand lifestyle. But the freedom mindset, it completely flips the script. It says, my choices today, how I decide to spend and save, that's what determines how much freedom I'll have tomorrow. Your income is just a tool. It doesn't have to be your identity. So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. When you look at your own finances, is your paycheck a tool that's building real, lasting wealth and freedom? Or is it just funding a more comfortable, maybe more decorated cage? The choice ultimately is yours.